Hi there folks, Simmon here. Welcome to another Intermediate Invitational Tournament match. This time between ManaT and gowellja. This is their game 2 of 4. We did see that gowellja won the first game as white, and now we will check out and see what ManaT does now that ManaT gets white. They did split their 2 games in the group stage, so let's see if they repeat that here. Again, if they do split all 4 games, 2 wins to 2 wins, then they do have to play a tiebreaker game. And that tiebreaker game is played with lower time controls, just 1 game, and has a 3 komi. Whereas the rest of these tournament games do not have any komi at all. So let's jump right into this game 2 of this playoff match. Game 2 of ManaT versus gowellja starts now. ManaT in white, gowellja in black. Okay, so we get the first play of this game at A1. F6 played. Gowellja does like that opposite corner opening that a lot of other players don't do. In 6x6, typically, the black player will choose to make it an adjacent corner opening. And so this is going to be very different than what we're used to seeing. And it looks like there was a slight hiccup with the video, and we've skipped ahead a little bit, a couple moves, and they have been playing this mirrored opening that's a slight variant of that because it is with opposite corners as opposed to adjacent corners here. But it looks like we've got that black capstone on the other side of those white flats, and now we see this interesting capture move from black. Black capturing over with this flat stone. Now I really like this play here because it opens up black to come over with that capstone and make a hard capstone, or just get a stronger spot for that capstone, get a stronger stack. And then he can go ahead and play off of that location and be able to do a lot of things here. And it looks like our video is hiccuping up a little bit, according to some of the people who are watching. Sorry about that if we're missing a couple moves here and there, but we are seeing that white is moving around a little bit over towards more of a horizontal threat, because it is important to note that white does have momentum here. If you're unfamiliar with momentum is covered in the TAC University video about momentum. And you can go ahead and check that out in the top right hand corner. Looks like white is continuing to build more of this horizontal threat, really sticking to that momentum here. Now, I think what's going to happen is white is going to end up playing off to the left, and then black is going to take that capstone stack and spread it upwards. Spreading that capstone stack upwards is really going to cut off white's threat and be able to work a little bit more towards white's threat here. Now, we may see white decide to drop a capstone either at E4 or at D3 here. Now, that capstone dropping would be pretty huge. Oh, it looks like it does drop. White's going to capture up, or want to capture up, on top of that stack that black left behind there. Now, we may see that capstone come back down for that stack, but it would just get filled in again at D5, and black would have to, again, move something into that horizontal line of white. Maybe make some sort of capture there. And it does look like that happened. Black moved that entire stack down, and then white filled up, and then black moved the entire stack back up. So that's an interesting play there. He didn't leave behind any flats for the capstone to capture, instead deciding to move that whole stack upwards and continue to interrupt that threat. Okay, so white is now maybe transitioning a little bit towards that vertical threat here. Okay, so we do see black taking that whole capstone up. And that's to keep white from capturing those flats here. Black now building down. This is an interesting play. Very different opening from what I'm used to. I feel like black does have an advantage here. Okay. Let's see, will black decide to play here at F5? No, playing a wall there at F5. Okay. Really wants to cut that off. Makes sense, makes sense. Okay, so what is white's play gonna be? Probably to split and go for that horizontal now. Maybe play here at f3, go across all the way to a3. That is the question. Okay, so we do see instead of a d3 played for white, and then a3 dropped from black. So black's still going maybe for this vertical threat and cutting off any sort of horizontal movement that white wants to do here. So white can make a vertical threat on this turn. White does have momentum, but it's not a strong momentum. It's something that can be easily cut off by either this wall movement, capstone movement, something like that. Black now building across here, ready to capture over and renew sort of this half threat that he's going for, this vertical direction. Okay, so b2 is the clincher here, but okay, so white building across now, going for that horizontal threat. Interesting that white is not building here at d1 or up here at e6, because those would be attack threats. Now, black is very close to attack threat themselves. White dropping here, ready to recapture onto this stack and free that captive. Okay. So yes, the captive capturing over, or the wall capturing over onto that stack would be able to liberate that captive and make attack threat at the same time, which is pretty nice, because it would be able to capture upwards and drop a white flat down and a wall here, which would be a very strong positive flat count differential move. Now black is trying to think of something to do to respond to that where he would still be able to make some sort of strong threat. I mean, he could take this whole capstone stack down to d4 and would be a horizontal threat, and then white wouldn't be able to make this wall movement because that wouldn't stop the threat here. So it would sort of delay the threat from white, but it wouldn't do much for black's position. Does decide to do that, though. Brings that whole capstone stack down, making that horizontal attack threat. Now white's got to make sure he doesn't become blind to that. Capstone blindness is a real thing. And let's see, what can white do here? White can move e4 right. White can move any of these, a5, b5, c5 down. Can move c3 or b3 up. Can move this capstone up even. Does decide to move the capstone up. Okay, all right, interesting. So that cuts that threat off. Now what will we see from black here? Will we see maybe a placement at d5 or at d6? Or will we see a strong flat count differential move, spreading the stack down? No, instead we see black capturing up here to get away from this wall. Interesting move. Interesting move, because that was a self-capture, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was a self-capture. And he knows he'll win this capture war because b3 coming left, then that comes down, but white decides to drop a wall. They're saying, I don't care. I'm taking it. So black spreads that stack up, gets it away from that wall. Black trying to hold on to any sort of flat count he can get at this point, which is very interesting. Keeping away, but not making any positive flat count moves. Instead, in fact, that was a negative flat count move, I think. No, okay, it wasn't a negative. It was a what was it? 1, 2, turning to 1, 2. So that was a +1 move, just the same as like placing a flat. Okay, or no, that was a +2 move. Sorry, +1, +2. I think it was a +1. Anyway. White now playing down here at e3, going for this horizontal attack threat direction. But playing at e3 also connects to the vertical direction as well. Nice. Nice. Okay, what are we going to be seeing here? Black trying to figure out what to do with his current positioning. Let's see. Black decides to play up here at a6. Okay, going for that vertical, it looks like. And then white's got to do something. If he does play here at a3, any sort of capture here will lead to a recapture with that wall, and he'll be able to make a positive flat count differential move and threaten this stack here at a5. Strong moves both. White instead plays up at e5 or e6 and makes that vertical attack threat. Black comes over with the wall immediately, crushes those hopes. I definitely see an a3 placement here pretty soon. Okay. Instead, we see an f3 placement. That's interesting. I feel like a3 would have been way better here, as it would have offered two different opportunities for attack threat. And so I feel like a3 it's really hard to say a3 wasn't the better move there. Black now coming down with his capstone stack, ready to cut off that vertical threat. White now has an opportunity to do a couple things, but I mean, potentially throwing that capstone stack over, spreading. Oh, decides to move it over instead of spreading. He's just moving it over, which I find fascinating, and I'm not sure why he does it that way, but we'll find out, I guess. What is the purpose to that? Maybe to build around this capstone, go for the vertical here? I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. Let's take a look at the flat count here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for white, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for black. Black does have a couple positive flat count differential moves, though. By a couple, I mean currently one. One positive, and that is a +2 move here going across or going across in that direction. I imagine that this is the one that he's got in mind, because playing down here at c1 is building towards that vertical attack threat for black. White now making the horizontal attack threat. Placing here at a3 does create that attack threat here, going all the way to f3 because c5 can come down, creating that road. Very easy to miss that threat, to be honest. So, I mean, we could see a miss, but I don't think gowellja would miss that threat. Let's see how gowellja responds here. I can see either a spread in that direction, maybe this coming down, but that would lead to the wall coming up, so probably not that. I'm imagining the wall, or this capstone coming across to the left. And there are a lot of pieces in this. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 6. Are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Okay, I can count. I promise I can count. All right, so 7 pieces in that stack. So we'd have to leave behind a white flat here in order to spread all the way across. But he could just spread across 1. Ooh, decides to leave a bunch of white flats here, but makes that attack threat. This is where we may see an a3 plus. Will we see an a3 plus? Will we see a wall here on c2? Because black is now making that vertical attack threat. A placement at c2 or capturing down with the top 2 pieces of that capstone stack would also be a road. This is where we may see, I feel like a3 plus might be pretty good. It would ultimately lose any sort of capture war. Or would b5 minus, and then this comes across, the capstone then jumps across. Wouldn't be attack threat, but a lot of possibilities here. That's what I love about attack, is that any move, there are just dozens of possibilities that you can go over with, and a lot of them are legitimate, viable moves. Whereas other games in the similar abstract strategy genre, a lot of times farther on into the game, it gets a little bit less complex, fewer options. So we do see the C5 minus option come out here. And I like that one because black can't come back up with this capstone because it would lead to him losing. And that also leads to him losing. White can capture down with B5 minus and go for the win, or just place here at C3. That is the road for white. gowellja missed the road threat. Oh man, that is painful. That is painful for sure. Excellent play from both players, though. That was a great game. Shame that it ended in a missed threat, but it was still fun to watch nonetheless. Well played, both players. Congratulations to ManaT for winning that one. They are now 1 win to 1 win. They've got 2 more games to play, and whoever comes out on top in those 2 games will go on, and the other will be eliminated from this tournament. So whoever wins between them will go on to play Pluto the Brave in the finals. However, I will note this is a best of 4 match, and if they do tie, or if they do split these next 2 games, they will play a tiebreaker game, and that tiebreaker game is a shorter time control with Comey, and it's just 1 singular game. And they will have to either agree on what color they play, or they will flip a coin to see who gets what color. And then that will decide everything. But again, that only matters if they split these next 2 games. So let's stick around, watch that next video to see who comes out on top in the next game. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description at the bottom of this video to see all the TAC resources that we have available to us, including the playtac.com website where you can play folks online. Also, the rules for the game so you can learn it. Check out the videos on my channel for how to play TAC. Check out the subreddit. Especially check out the TAC Discord server, which is the community hub. It's where everybody goes to talk about TAC, find players to play with, where we organize all these tournaments and everything. It's all on that TAC Discord. That is the place to be. If you're unfamiliar with Discord, Discord is a audio and text chatting web application and mobile application, and it's super easy to use, doesn't cost a thing, and you don't even have to download anything if you don't want to. Thanks for checking it out, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.